This is One-on-One with Jasper Cole, Hollywood's bad guy, and so much more. Actor, talent manager, producer, and more. Now he's sitting down with today's top newsmakers from entertainment, politics, pop culture, and beyond. This is One-on-One with Jasper Cole.
All right. Howdy, howdy, howdy. And welcome to One-on-One with Jasper Cole. Here we are. It's another Wednesday. It's another great show. We are coming to you live from Sunset Gower Studios right here in Hollywood, California. And let me give a shout out to my producer extraordinaire, Mr. John Williams. Hey, buddy.
How are you?
JW, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
I want to remind everyone to please follow us on Twitter at One-on-One-J-Cole, Facebook, One-on-One Jasper Cole, and you can go to my website, jaspercole.com, and there is an icon for this show. Click on there, and that's where you can also see our wonderful advertisers. We are now up to 22 affiliate advertisers. I want to welcome our newest advertiser is www.jewelry.com. So for all your jewelry, that's hard to say. Jewelry needs. But we have, I'm just going to read them out because that's what we have to do. Interserver.com, EUKHosting.com, AdamEveToys.com, SurLaTable.com, QuestBars.com, Booking.com, Flare.com, CheapAir.com, AdvancedAutoParts.com, PrimeSlots.com, BullGuard.com, a lot of .coms here, CourseSmart.com, Canvas World, 3-Day Blinds, Russell Stover Candies, 21st Century Insurance, Fandango, Extended Stay America, SuzanneSummers.com, Bath and Beauty, Liberty Mutual Insurance, ZipRecruiter, and, as I mentioned, Jewelry.com. So go to our host page, which is www.ubnradio.com/shows/ and then it's one-Jasper-Cole. But JW assures me that we're going to get an easier link.
Yes, we are.
Because what you do is you go on and then you click on one of the advertisers, and our promo code One-on-One with Jasper Cole is embedded in that link, and we get credit when you buy something.
Yeah.
Which is great. So we're so thrilled to have these advertisers, and it's been exciting, and we're looking forward to working with them. And anyway, it's been quite a week since we last talked. Did you see the MTV?
I saw bits and pieces of it. Yeah,
video,
bits and pieces.
MTV, was this the Video Music Awards?
Yeah, the VMAs.
Yeah, with Miley Cyrus hosting.
Yep.
And then she had a little encounter with Nicki Minaj.
Yeah. Do you think that was staged?
Well, part of me first thought it was staged, but then they keep showing Nicki. There was a cutaway of Nicki after she thought the camera was off of her, and she was kind of really pissed, I think.
Yeah, but do you think still that was staged?
Well, I don't know. I know
See, that's the thing.
I know
don't know these days.
Taylor Nicki thing was staged in the beginning, to sort of put that whole thing to rest.
Because Nicki thanks her pastor, then she lays into Miley, and it's like, what?
Okay, I don't get Nicki Minaj. Can we just talk?
Yeah,
You're a singer. John's an amazing. JW's an amazing singer. I think she's the female Kanye West. I don't really get. I think she's so overrated. I've never really.
And she tried acting too.
Yeah, I mean, she might be better at that.
Did you ever see anything that she's done? Okay.
But I lost it for her when she was the judge on American Idol for one season because she was so ridiculous. But I do like the fact that she's dropped sort of the Lady Gaga costumes, and she's just kind of wearing her natural. Well, I don't know if it's natural hair, but you know.
Is her anaconda natural?
Oh. And she was real. I guess because she was really pissed that Anaconda didn't get nominated for Video of the Year, but. Was it really that good?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
I think the teens of today are calling Baby Got Back Anaconda.
Well, I was just going to say that. That's what it reminds me of.
You know, our friend Denise Boutet.
She threw it down at my wedding,
she
didn't she?
Yes.
But I think Miley's overrated also.
You do?
Well, here's the thing. I think Miley's really talented.
Yeah,
I don't think she needs, I know she's young and she's finding herself and whatever, but does she really need to be? She was trying so hard to be different that it just seemed very inauthentic.
I don't know. I don't know if they wanted her to be over the top or if that was her choosing. But the thing I like about Miley is she has a wonderful charity. Do you know about the charity that she has?
No.
The hippie.
With the homeless charity?
Yeah.
I remember last year's award show, she actually had one of the young homeless guys go up and
Yeah.
accept her award?
Yeah, she runs the Happy Hippie Foundation,
Okay.
and it's it's a really incredible organization to help underprivileged people.
Well, I like that. Well,
Mhm.
okay. So, I mean, I guess what I'm saying is I think she's so talented, she
Mhm.
could just drop all this other
I agree.
trying to be shocking.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what we do when.
And
what
then
is
she crossed over from being Hannah Montana to
What
be.
is she, 20?
Oh, look it up. I'll find out.
She's young.
Yeah, yeah.
She's very young.
Yeah. I like her.
No, I
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I do. But I feel so old when I watch that show because in so many ways, a lot of the people I'm not familiar with the music.
Mm-hmm.
So I start feeling very old. Like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, I don't really watch the VMAs.
Yeah.
No.
I kind of watch
But she
it.
is 22.
Okay, she's a baby.
Yeah,
No, but I
19,
want to watch it so I can sort of stay in the loop,
Mm-hmm.
feeling like I'm in the know of what's going on.
Sure.
But the other thing I want to talk about is, okay, so Caitlyn Jenner's show on E. I
Mhm.
know it came out of the gates and it did really well, and then
Mhm.
the ratings dropped. But I have to tell you, I watched a marathon of all the episodes.
Did. Uh-huh.
It's really, really important show.
It is.
It's too bad that people aren't watching it
Right.
because it's not what they're thinking it's going to be.
Mhm. They're like, another Kardashian show.
No, but
Yeah.
I mean the educational part of it, like
Mhm.
her. Well, I love Candace Cain has just become like the greatest thing now
Mhm.
because she's really so genuine and such. You could tell they have she and Caitlyn have a genuine friendship. But going to the Children's Hospital, there's an episode where they met with parents of transgender kids, and they
Mhm.
met with the kids, and Chaz Bono was there.
Yeah.
And then I love the fact that they have a couple of sit downs, once with Kim, once with Chloe, and you kind of get to see how this issue does affect the whole family.
Yeah. Well, did you see the special? The Kardashian
I
special?
see. I've never
Oh,
seen.
okay,
I've
'cause
never
you see
seen
a lot of
Kardashian.
that, of how it
I
affected
would
them.
kind of like to see.
Well, normally I would never watch the Kardashian show,
Right.
but when the transition was happening with Bruce to Caitlyn, I tuned in for that.
Yeah, that one I
Yeah.
would kind of like to see
Yeah.
because I don't know. I hear grumblings and I hear people, even friends of mine, go, oh, I don't.
Mhm.
I watched the first one. It's just too narcissistic or whatever. But
Mhm.
if you take Caitlyn, ironically, if you take Caitlyn out of the equation,
Yeah.
Jenny Bolin and Candace, and she has this group of transgendered women and that are her posse.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really enlightening. And I think, and then like an episode I saw today, Scott Disick from,
Yes.
who's really a douchebag, right? And normally, but he was so kind and so wonderful. It was an episode where Caitlyn.
Uh-huh.
See, I do that.
Yeah, a lot of people still do
Caitlyn
that.
was going.
Yeah.
Caitlyn was concerned about her straight male friends
Mm-hmm.
that she had as Bruce, and how she wasn't hearing from them or seeing them. So Scott came over, and I thought it was just a wonderful episode of. It's interesting. In some ways, his straight friends have been a lot more accepting than than some of the women in his life, other than his mother and his sister.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it comes on E.
Mm-hmm.
It's on Sunday nights. I think it's at 8:00, but they repeat it all the time, and it should be getting down to the finale, right? I don't think they did that many. I'm not sure, but
Yeah, it's probably coming up. The other thing is, are you watching Jazz Jennings? I Am Jazz.
you know what? I gotta remember to watch
'cause
that.
I think you'd
keep
be really-
forgetting.
If you like Caitlyn's show, I think you'd really like Jazz.
That's on
show.
ABC Family, and it follows the life of this young transgendered girl who's only 13 or
Yeah, I think it's on TLC.
or is it TLC?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
There's another show on ABC Family.
There is.
Oh, that's the one about both a transgender. No, wait. A high school kid, a boy and a girl, both their fathers
right.
are going through transition at
It's
the
called
same time.
Becoming Us.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That one is interesting also.
Yeah, that is ABC Family. Yep.
And then I heard Del Shores today raving about Lily Tomlin's new movie.
Yeah.
Grandma, and
uh-huh.
especially praising Laverne Cox's performance,
Right.
which is exciting.
Yeah.
So wouldn't it be great if Laverne got like a supporting actress nomination?
Yeah, I would like to see that, and I actually would like to see the movie. My friend,
Right.
my friend was there for the screening with Lily. So
Well, listen, I'm excited about today's
Yeah.
show. We have a wonderful guest, Dr. Leslie Birkland. And a lot of people will remember Leslie from 3 seasons on the Style Network's hit show Big Rich Texas. But she's going to come on today to talk about something totally different. She's going to talk to us about her experiences in the Church of Scientology, which I'm fascinated by. The documentary Going Clear was amazing. And I think a lot of people, when we first saw that, we were introduced to this whole other side of Scientology. So I can't wait to hear her take on it. You know,
Yeah.
everybody's got a story, and it'll be interesting to see how she got into the church and what her experiences have been and that kind of thing. So let's take our first break.
Okay.
And when we come back, we're going to be joined by my other producer, Dominic Friesen, and the wonderful Leslie Birkland. You are watching and listening to 101 with Jasper Cole. We'll be right back.
You're back, one-on-one with Jasper Cole.
Woohoo! All right. Welcome back to 101 with Jasper Cole. And as I promised you, I am joined now by my other producer, Mr. Dominic Friesen. Hey, Dominic.
Hey, what's going on?
And I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you.
And we're so happy to welcome special guest, Dr. Leslie Birkland. Hey, sweetheart. My God, look at the beauty in here. Okay, so we've decided that Leslie and Dominic look like brother and sister, which is a good thing.
He's my little brother.
But
Little
Dominic's
brother.
not on camera, so they can't see.
Well, but really? They've seen him before.
I told
Look,
him.
look.
Yeah.
there he
Look
is.
at that. Let's get a shot of that.
I got it.
And we have to get a picture later for that as
Yeah.
well. So, as I mentioned, a lot of people will remember Leslie from 3 seasons of Big. I remember.
Big Rich,
I was a
Texas?
fan. Big
Oh,
Rich,
really?
Texas. Yeah.
Did you like me?
I loved you.
I tried to be
I
nice.
thought you were the nicer one.
I was the nicer
I thought that there were
one.
so many bitches on there, but I thought you were the really nice one.
Well, I tried.
Are
to
you
be
friends
the
with any
nice
of them?
one. No.
Thank God.
Oh, good Lord, no.
Yeah.
No, but they still will post things. They have avatars, and it will say something like, "I love Bonnie and Leslie's a whore."
Leslie's a whore.
It's like, where did
Oh,
that
not a
come
bitch,
from?
but a whore.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's coming from the cast. I mean, they're still doing this.
Right.
You know, a couple
How many?
years
It's
later.
been a couple of
It's
seasons.
been
I mean, a couple of
seasons.
years since.
We have not filmed for a couple years. It is airing in the UK and it's airing in South Africa and in the Philippines, so it's new to people
To
and-
them, right?
Right, and so they will write to me and ask me a question like, "Well, how do you like Cindy?" It's like, I don't know. She's probably just drunk
drunk- she's
somewhere.
probably
what
drunk
do I
on
know?
the-
You know?
Well, let's say, speaking of the UK, should we talk about, there's a breaking story that just happened today with a dear friend of yours, good friend of yours, reality star Janice Dickinson, who I guess is in the Big Brother
Celebrity Big Brother UK.
UK.
And so she's part of that. I know that she's actually been struggling a little bit, on the show, just as a character. I mean, as
Right,
herself.
right. Just being in there
right,
and dealing
being
with.
in there. But Janice is probably one of the nicest people that
Yeah.
I know, and nobody knows that. They just see
They see this.
they see the big her,
Right.
because she's on.
Right.
But when she's off, she's on too. I mean,
Right.
it is part of her personality. So sometimes I think that people think that she's like crying wolf because
Right.
because she's big all the
All
time.
the time.
All the time.
And strong, fierce.
Yeah, she is fierce, and it's just shocking to me what happened to her, and it's shocking to me that the producers, the cameramen, did not all throw their cameras down and go and rescue her and
Because
save her.
she's allergic to bees, right? Obviously.
allergic.
Did she know that? I mean, did she know?
She knew it. They knew it.
And she
And
got stung by a bee
She got stung by
on
a bee.
camera.
Right.
And then she almost went into apoplectic shock.
She went into shock. She started convulsing.
Does she have like an EpiPen or one of those?
She asked them to get her an EpiPen, and the person that was interviewing her wasn't believing her because
They
she
thought
was
maybe
being,
she was doing it for the
just
camera?
being dramatic. But when you actually looked at her hands, you could see that
She was swelling up?
She had moments.
It was going up her arm, and she says, "My right arm is blue, and it's it goes to the heart, and that's
Right,
that's
you
the
can
danger."
die.
And it was literally halfway up her arm. Her arm was half blue.
Oh my God.
And what happens with oftentimes
And the controversy is that this was pre-taped, and they actually aired the footage. So it's kind of like this reality TV going very far. And you got to remember, last week Tila Tequila was kicked off because they found her past posts that were pro.
That she liked Hitler.
Correct.
Well,
Yeah.
Pro-Nazi.
there's certain things you can't.
I mean,
like
that's
and
just
Hitler.
so
Tila
absurd.
Tequila is
You
not
really
the
can't.
most stable
I didn't know
person.
she was alive. I'm sorry.
Well, she actually tried to commit suicide.
Well,
or threatened to at
her
one
dear
point.
friend died. The other girl, the socialite. We're gonna get way off topic, but anyway,
That's right.
The-
I do
the-
remember
you
that.
know
it
that
was the-
she was
But
sad.
regards with
It was
Janice,
the heiress to the Johnson fortune.
what
Right.
really does bother me, and this happens with producers
I can't believe I know that.
and
Go-
reality TV, in my contract, if I was actually hurt or someone was going to kill me, I had it that the cameramen had to drop their cameras. If I looked at them and said, "This is real,"
Right.
This is absolutely
Put the
real.
camera down.
And but they don't, because you know what?
Well, they think-
that's a money shot.
Right.
I mean,
It's the money.
she's
It's like, you feel
gasping
like
for
Bambi.
air.
You feel like you're on the one of those
It-
animal shows
like
where you're
hunting,
being eaten. Yeah.
stalked.
And the cameramen, they don't save the little bunny from being eaten by.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, had you done reality at all before Big Rich?
I
mean,
did one.
Like a
little-
pilot or?
No, what happened was I was on an episode of Millionaire Matchmaker.
Oh, with Patty.
Oh yes, with Patty.
Oh.
And how was that experience?
It's just lovely.
Who can't seem to hold a relationship, but
Yeah, she has some issues. But Patty.
that's like when your therapist is fucked up.
But
Or your
I know.
hairstylist has bad hair.
Right, which happens a lot. Or your interior decorator
That's
has
a
a horrible
sign.
house.
That's a sign.
Yeah.
But I mean, that whole show, and truth is fabricated. Like, the offices don't exist. The staff was all brought in for the show. She doesn't do the matchmaking. It's done by producers. Let's just.
Well, one of the guys has a show here. JW, what's his name? Has a show here that works with her.
Works with.
Patty Singer.
Oh yeah, that's David.
David.
Yeah.
You know her sidekick, David. Her
Yeah,
gay sidekick.
David Cruz
Her
is
gay
his name.
bestie.
Mhm.
He has a show here.
Yeah.
Bless his heart. Hey, David.
Finding Cupid.
Okay. So anyway, so back to Jana. So she when did this happen?
This just aired last night.
But when did it actually
They're
film
9 hours
it?
ahead, so it was yesterday. There yesterday.
Got
so
it.
it
Okay.
could be, less than about probably 24 hours. From
How
now.
many weeks are they into the episodes? I mean,
I think it only started, so I believe they're only like 3 weeks in.
okay.
So it's the beginning phases. So we'll see what.
Well, I hope
happens
she's
with that.
okay.
Yeah, I hope she's okay.
She returned back to the show a few hours later, but.
She
I mean,
did,
she
but and they
goes-
said that she was well, but probably not. I'm sure that there was, producers there saying, "We need you to get back.
Right.
We need you to get."
Well,
so,
they make a shitload of money. Leslie Jordan, a friend of ours, he did it last year? It just ruined his life. No, I mean, he had a horrible, he made a shitload of money, but it was just, I don't know what he thought he was getting into. But
Well, our dear friend Pamela Hasselhoff did it a couple seasons
Oh,
ago
that's
as well,
right.
and she was one of the first to leave. But
I
it's
would
a
want to
very
be the first to
I'd
leave. Pay
beg
me the
to get-
money
pay me-
and
it's a
get
tough
me
show
off.
to do. Very tough.
do you get paid more each week you stay on, or you have a flat?
I believe you do.
Okay.
You do. It's
but
what
you're
it-
still getting a lot for the first week. That'd be enough for me.
And
Right.
it is a very nice paycheck.
Right. No, I heard. Compared
Even
to here.
if I believe, it's almost $100,000. But if you stay
Stay
on,
on.
then it's more and more and more.
But
and
that's,
people are
but that's
competitive.
nothing if you almost die on the
naturally.
show and
Right.
the producers aren't helping you.
She's going to get a bonus, probably the almost death.
The bee
bonus.
sting bonus?
Yeah.
If
or
she gets stung
something.
by a bee.
She's gonna get a bump.
Yeah.
A
Wow.
little bump in her
Yeah,
paycheck.
but there you go.
Well, speaking of bumps, so Tom Cruise's mother is missing? That was a segue, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She has allegedly not been seen since Easter Sunday. or
From
Easter
the
weekend.
Celebrity Center Scientology.
No, just seen by anybody.
Oh, because I read an article that she was last seen at an Easter brunch
It was an Easter
at that
brunch.
restaurant. at
Her
the-
apartment here in LA has been empty, and she's not been seen there, and no death certificate has been filed.
Wow.
So, and you got to remember, this comes on the heels of. It was very well known, at least in Hollywood circles, that Tom Cruise was allegedly going to be
Hinting that he
leaving-
was leaving.
Leaving, correct.
Which brings us around to
He
Leslie
can't leave. We know that he
and
cannot
your
leave.
story of being a Scientologist
The file that they have on me is probably like this.
from the auditing.
Yeah, from the auditing.
So-
the file they have on Tom is rooms and rooms full. He's.
Oh yeah,
screwed.
because we all watched Going Clear, right?
Okay.
The documentary. So I wanted to ask you, being in the church, the documentary, how did you feel it was really accurate? Was it so?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was very
Scary,
accurate.
real.
And in fact, it even seeing the auditing machine, because they showed 3 different types.
Right.
So even things like that I was looking at that someone else wouldn't even notice.
Right.
But the first one that was wood with the tin cans.
Which is the old
That's
fashioned.
what I used.
Right.
Because this is back in the late 70s, early 80s. And then they came out with a fancy blue one. It was a big deal and a big presentation that, they came out with a new auditing
More
machine.
new, improved.
Yeah, and doing auditing is actually scary.
Right. Tell everyone what that.
What the
that
entire
is.
point
I mean,
of auditing is it's like a lie detector test, but the point is they start from day one, like today, and you go back a week, you
Right.
go back another week, you go back until the day you're born, sometimes beyond.
where they're asking you questions.
So you actually go into other past lives.
Wow.
But it's to clear you in this lifetime. So let's say, for example, I was hit by a red car when I was 5 years old, and I have an absolute fear of red. Red scares the crap out of me, and I don't know why.
Right.
I won't wear red. If you wear red, I don't want to be your friend. So
It's like PTSD.
Yes. So you go back to that very moment, and when you acknowledge it and relive it, it's called being blown out. So they go through They also go through every drug that you've ever taken, even an aspirin. Because they really want to file, I know now, on every drug, or if you've ever been a drug abuser, they create this file, and you have to go through that experience because each one has to be, gone, go away. Now, I was a young person.
Right.
I was in my teens, and it was like, I was thinking I have to make up things.
Right.
I didn't have enough.
You wanted to feel cool. You feel like you'd lived enough to have something.
I hadn't lived enough. It's like, give me 10 more years. Let me be 30, and maybe I'll be all screwed up, and we can figure this out.
And you got into it because of a boyfriend, am I correct?
My boyfriend from when I was 15
Right.
to age 20 was a Scientologist. His sister was a Scientologist. Her husband was a Scientologist. And something really, the things that they believe that they did not show on the show is they absolutely believe in reincarnation.
Okay.
They absolutely believe that my sister, or my boyfriend's sister, told me that she had been Cleopatra. And there was absolutely
Who hasn't been? At least
That's
at
a common
Halloween
one. They
or
always say
something,
Cleopatra.
right?
It's like, why not just some
I know.
unknown?
Right,
Yeah.
right. And,
Yeah.
and oftentimes you've been animals. When you've been an animal, like let's say you were a cow.
Who tells you that they are?
When you go back, see if you go back far enough from auditing, you actually go to a past life.
Okay, I got you.
And then you discover I was
That
a
you
cow.
were a cow.
And when you come back again, if you live a life that really isn't a good life or a Scientology life, you'll come back as a subspecies to human. You may come back as a worm.
But a lot of
or something.
A lot of this they aren't telling you, like like the introduction meeting. They're not presenting like the really, I guess you'd say, more extreme beliefs that they have.
Catch.
Correct?
There's a catch. You go in there and it's beautiful. The first thing I asked them was, "I'm a Christian.
Right.
Can I be a Christian and be part of the Church of Scientology or Scientology?" Because they have a cross.
Right.
Like a Christian cross, and they said absolutely. They said our leader here, this is in Seattle, Washington.
Right.
His mother is sitting right over there, and she's a Catholic. So that was the first thing.
So you're like, oh, okay.
Well,
praise Jesus.
She's a Catholic, hallelujah. So they said it's really a science, even though they consider themselves a church, that can coexist with somebody that is a religious person, whether they're Buddhist or Hindu or whatever they are, which is completely not true.
Right.
That's what they
that's
tell
the
you.
BS they
that's
sell you.
That's to get you in
how,
the door.
How long into it do you realize that's not going to happen, that they don't really allow that? How do you...
Well, sadly, it took me 4 years.
Right.
Of doing this before. There was a moment in time when it just all hit
Clicked.
me at the end when I realized, because the whole goal as a newbie is to go clear.
Right.
Clear is a big deal. And what clear means is you've had so much auditing.
Right.
Now, back in 1979, it cost about $10,000 to get an average price.
That's what I was going to ask you about, the money.
Would be about $10,000 to actually go to have enough auditing. But it depended on the person. It could be a little bit less or it could be a lot more if you're
Right.
really a messed up person.
Fucked up.
Yeah, if you're...
Right.
Exactly. So,
which is why they do so well in Hollywood.
my
I think.
boyfriend did get clear, and I wanted to be clear.
Right.
I wanted to be clear. It just means you go through all these little issues in your life. And
They make you feel bad if you're not clear yet.
Yeah,
And they get more money.
There's the status of
Right,
being clear.
right.
And you get a bracelet.
Oh, well.
Well, now they think they give you a placard.
For $10,000, you get a bracelet.
And when you say
it's a
$10,000,
metal bracelet, and it says clear. And when you are there at any of the meetings and you have your clear bracelet on, that is huge.
are you
And you
paying?
gotta remember, I'm sorry, at that point, you were younger,
Right.
and you were not a celebrity, and you weren't established. So $10,000 even at that time is a lot of money to be putting towards a
Yeah,
church.
and are you paying per audit?
You
or
do.
how do
You
they
pay per audit.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, it's $200 to maybe, $300 for an auditing session that might last a half an hour.
Okay.
And with the machine, the meter, you may talk about, like in my case, and this was very clever, and I didn't catch it. I would say something about my mom, and they'd say,
boo,
the
boo, boo.
meter, what's going on there? And they had me convinced that my mom was a complete Looney Tune, and I really should disassociate myself with
They
my
use
mother.
that word a lot.
Yes, and I didn't realize it at the time. Of course, I wasn't going to disassociate
Right.
myself with my mother.
But people do. Some people do, though, right?
They absolutely do,
Right.
because they think that they are,
They're sucked in by that.
suppressant,
Yeah.
the suppressant
They're
people.
suppressors, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so I didn't have a lot of major issues. I almost felt badly.
Unqualified to be a
I wish I could
Scientologist.
come up with like a bunch of
Leslie's
crap
like,
that
well, wait
we
a
could
minute.
go through.
I was not molested.
So
I was-
how far through the auditing process did you go? Because you didn't actually achieve the
I
the
didn't
clear
ensure
status.
cleardom. I didn't make it to cleardom because I probably would have needed another year or so
Now,
and to
another-
do a lot more
$20,000.
sessions.
When you don't make it
Yeah,
to
really.
cleardom, is that looked down upon?
Yeah,
Or-
it is, and you continue because the clear status is if there's a chart that goes from here to
Right.
here, clear is here.
I got you.
Then you can really work on things, and what you really work on when you're clear is you have powers, and your powers are I could move this paper from here to here, and this is a scary thing. I've seen it.
Really?
Yes. Like I say, I mean, this is like it's so
Levitation?
upsetting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen them do it.
Wow.
They also have a thing called communication, and it's when I'm about to communicate to you something, and it's right there. It's already in my mind. It hasn't made it to my vocal cords, to your ears yet, but it's present
Right.
there, and they can pick up what you're going to say, and that did happen when I was there. Now, maybe it was all set up. I
Right,
don't know,
right.
but I witnessed that, and it happened. And so I thought, okay, one guy, I saw these two guys that were playing with like paper cups. We were at one of the big, huge meetings, and the guy put it on the ground, and the other guy picked up the cup, and all of a sudden the cup shot across the room because they just didn't want him to mess with the cup anymore. And I thought, okay, so the thing is the powers that you're going to gain
Right.
is so huge, and it's not just simply being able to move things.
Well, could it
see
be more
through
like they're
walls.
masters of illusion?
They could-
But it's
It
all
could
they're
be.
telling
I'm
you.
serious.
You have the power in your thinking. And
You have
your-
the no. I mean,
clearer
we only
you get.
use 5%, less than 5%
Right.
of our brain. So that's part of it. Getting yourself to use 100% of
Right.
your brain. How much power would we have?
Right.
I'm sure that they're just like the psychics that can, they
Pick
know
up on
what
thi-
they
right.
can pick up
Right.
on signs, so they know what you're
What
about
you're
to
going to
say,
say,
or what you
and
might
then you
be
say one
thinking.
little thing, and they
So Leslie,
Right.
what would you say during your tenure in Scientology was your scariest moment, or were your most?
Probably the scariest moment was my boyfriend's sister was a Scientologist. She was married to a man whose brother was brutally murdered, and nobody knew who murdered him, why he was going to leave the church. I mean, and it wasn't just, it was a slaughter, and they did this day.
murdered
murdered him.
around
It's a
the-
cold case to this day.
around
It's
the
a cold case.
Scientology.
Well, he was murdered in his apartment, but he was going to leave
Oh, he was
the
gonna leave.
Scientology, and then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, he was stabbed like
Dead.
100 times. And but then it went beyond that. My boyfriend's sister was pregnant, and they told me that his spirit was going to go into the baby body. And what they say is, you're pregnant, and a lot of pregnant women, you feel pregnant, but then there's that moment where you feel like life. It's more than just a little human and you moving. And that's when the spirit enters. But the two spirits were vying for that baby body. One was Jimmy, the man who had been murdered,
Right.
and one was another spirit, and that they had a whole session with Scientologists to make sure that they're Scientologist friends, because we don't
Of
know
course.
who murdered Jimmy.
Right.
They actually made sure that it was Jimmy that got to be in the baby body. And I thought, that does not resonate with me. I can understand spiritual enlightening. I can understand
Right.
forms of communication, or really just being really in tune with somebody.
Right.
Which I like
Right,
that.
right.
I am a spiritual person. I am a Christian too,
Right.
but I know that there's just so much more to life that we
Right.
just don't know. And that was the catch, was that we can just be. So much more. And then when I heard that story, it was just too much.
That was like one thing after another.
That was it. It was just simply too much.
Too much
for me.
So you were at 5 years?
Yeah, actually, it was 4 full years, and
Okay.
then there's a tapering off. Now, I wasn't somebody that was high ranking. I was someone, I would go to their weekly meetings,
Right.
and it wasn't a church like you're going to church.
Right.
They would rent out. They had an office where when you would go in, you could get schedule some auditing. My auditing was actually in an office. And I don't remember that they recorded me, but he sure took an awful lot of notes.
Did you start out with a personality test, like
Yes.
how they attract people by
Yes.
this personality test? Like, find out all about your personality, and take
Yeah.
this test. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a kid, and they said I suck. I mean,
Well, they advertise that
Sucky
on Hollywood
personality.
Boulevard. I
And they
mean,
don't even
'cause-
tell you what it is until after the fact.
Right.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's really interesting, because just a couple months ago, I was in Pasadena, and they had a beautiful table set up with the book Dianetic, which I've read. I've read all of the books. And I remember going up, seeing their new e-meter and sort of being intrigued. And I told them that, I had been a Scientologist at one time. And I hooked up to the e-meter, but I think I was a suppressive person.
Right, and they picked up on that.
They were hostile and basically threw me out of their area.
You said if you said I had been a Scientologist,
yes.
they were probably
that was
like,
it. Absolutely, that was it. And they were hostile towards me. But what I observed that was really scary is they were like Stepford people.
yeah. Robots.
They were like robots, and they had just very little that they could say, and how they basically kind of, inched me out of there.
And so, watching obviously the movie Going Clear, it showed, I guess, opened the world up to some of the things that you didn't even know about Scientology. But what did your
because what I got from that documentary was there's levels or ranks of people, so it feels
That's
like
right.
the ones that are just doing the auditing and they like Dianetics and they're going to the meetings. Even like Paul Haggis and
still
some of the
about
people,
money.
they didn't even realize until they cracked open the thing. What was the big thing they finally get to? And they opened the.
was that going through the wall of fire?
No, that's actually, I think, even beyond the wall of fire. But the wall of fire, what we're told, because we're told these mystery things like you're going to go clear, then there's going to be the day you go through the wall of fire. And my boyfriend went through the wall of fire, and he told me that he could not tell me what it was or any details, because if he did, it could kill me.
Well, he probably didn't want to tell you because he was so embarrassed to find out
No,
what
I
was.
know. Now that I saw the
That's
the
what you see
movie.
on the documentary. That
Right.
these really accomplished people were just so. That one guy was like, I was too embarrassed to even say what, because it was nothing.
Yeah, it was gobbledygook.
Garbly
I mean, it
goop.
was just
They were reading it,
garbage.
going, "What the
It was
shit is
garbage.
this?"
Well, L. Ron Hubbard was a he used to
criminal.
write well, yes, he was.
I
Criminal.
mean, you find out in this documentary.
Yeah, he was criminal, but
And people died around him
and
too.
He was insane.
And the whole
I
Sea
believe.
Org.
Oh my gosh.
The Sea Org, with the whole.
Well,
And-
I think he wanted to be a Commodore, and so he appointed himself a Commodore. He really liked.
Well, but it was fascinating that the reason he went out on the sea was he was running from the IRS and running from the law. He couldn't be on land
just
anywhere.
need to go 3 miles out. You're safe.
Wow.
You're in international waters then.
So when you got ready to leave, were you faced with what they don't like it when you leave, but maybe because you weren't high profile, they leave you alone, or?
Well, they still wanted my money.
Oh, okay.
And they try to, have you come in, or what can we do? What are the issues with you? Let's do some more auditing.
Right.
Let's invite you. They also have fun things to do. It's not all just about the church and the spiritual.
They have movie nights
enlightening.
every Friday here.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So they have little fun events that you can
Right.
do, and parties, and everyone, singing groups that you can join. And they talk endlessly about the Celebrity Center.
Right, because
Now,
that's their big.
Being from Washington, the Celebrity Center. And so I had 2 goals: to go clear, and I wanted to go to the Celebrity Center
on Franklin.
But I knew I couldn't even enter the Celebrity Center because you had to really be a celebrity.
Oh.
So I knew that but I just even wanted to see the Celebrity Center, take a picture outside the Celebrity
Well,
Center.
years ago in the 90s, they have a theater downstairs. I did a play that had nothing to do with Scientology. That the guys just happened to rent that space. And it was very eerie because we rehearsed there. It's a beautiful place, but the little chaperones or the people that work around there, like you'd go up to get coffee in the shop and they're just like, so hi, whatever. It was very cultish, like you would think, and a lot
very
of
much
those
a cult.
people are working their way. They don't have the money, right? A lot of them can't afford to pay, so they have to work off.
Right.
Well,
I mean-
they say in the documentary they're making like 40 cents an hour.
Right.
6 cents. 6 to 40 is the top.
And then,
6 to 40 cents an hour.
And they also have indentured servants allegedly at the.
well, that
The
on the
seventh
The
seventh
thing
floor.
that really surprised me about the movie is when the one lady said that L. Ron Hubbard wanted a lot of the women to have abortions.
Right.
That surprised me and that he was anti-gay.
Right.
And that really surprised me because in the teachings, there's so many past lives. I could have been a man for the last 10 lives, and a woman. So it's your spirit,
Spirit.
and there's the body you're in. So you don't. It would make sense.
Right.
I mean, in that world,
Right.
why if you want to look at it from a traditional.
Christian.
Yeah, Christian, where it wouldn't make any sense to them. I mean, they just.
Well,
She can't wear
I
linen
thought
and-
one of the most riveting things was the way John Travolta is basically held hostage there because of
He
you
is.
mentioned because of all the shit they have on him in his file.
files and files. He can do nothing. He cannot move, and neither can Tom Cruise.
Right.
You know, there was a time where I believe
Or
that
John
Tom,
Travolta. I think was
T-
W-
Tom
or
Cruise-
Tom.
John-
We're talking- well,
Tom, did you say Tom Cruise? And
well, no, I said John
Cruise?
Travolta, but
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
both.
Exactly.
I think that's why we don't know what they have on Tom.
There,
Well, allegedly.
well, I can pull up some old little magazines, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I'm finding it's just fascinating.
Whatever, you know. Yeah, he's well, actually.
But it's also the fact that they and the members put their trust in this quote unquote church, and they're doing so, and then the information is used to blackmail them.
right.
Like Leah
Right.
Remini. I was telling Dominic, I don't know if you've watched her reality show. It's,
I have.
I'm hooked on it. I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
They're hilarious. But the first season, they really did talk a lot about when they left, you know, and what the ramifications. But
And her,
aga-
her whole family were members.
yeah,
is that
it's
correct?
interesting because her mom, I don't know what image I have of why I think you have to look a certain way to be a Scientologist, but her mom is so funny and so like out there to think that she's the one that got them into Scientology. You know, she was already in Scientology.
Well, there's a side where people
Are
aren't
having
aware.
fun and-
they're not aware. They might be just giving millions of dollars,
Right.
and they haven't gone up in the ranks, or they haven't done anything that's going to make them, you know, questionable.
Right.
Where they're going to, they don't believe it. They don't believe that exists.
Well,
they don't
also-
believe that they, you know, are put away for a year and.
Is
have
it
to
true
lick
that the
floor.
higher a lot of the celebrities aren't giving a lot of money? That the money's coming from the smaller
the celebrities
people?
in the beginning have given a lot of
Okay,
money.
but then they reach a point and they use them. They use their notoriety
Tom
more.
Cruise, they have to use. It's like Technicolor. When that Technicolor
Right.
came out, there's a new type of coloring.
And,
I'm not
and
sure
to
what's
clarify, the church is
they
worth
own it.
billions of dollars.
Yeah,
Right.
They own it. They own businesses that are related to the movie industry.
It's all tied
and
in.
Any movie that he does. So essentially, Tom is giving them millions of
I
dollars.
gotcha.
So
Well, it's fascinating too because then they, with Katie home, and this is all alleged, but with Katie and Tom, you know, apparently when a child reaches a certain age, they want to send them to this camp that they go to, some kind of
Or they
Sea Org
go-
camp,
Yeah.
or
The Sea Org.
but
correct.
Katie,
They were going to send Tom's adopted children with Nicole.
right when Nicole got out,
Yeah.
but
I
mean,
don't know that Nicole was ever 100% in. And
I think that was
sort
part of the problem.
Yeah.
And then Katie was not in either. I don't think they don't like that, right? They want you.
Oh, absolutely not.
Well, in the
because
documentary, they
need-
they make it sound like they didn't like.
And that's actually why Laura Prepon, who is
Mm-hmm.
in Scientology, was actually matched with Tom post Katie. That
Right.
They were introduced. It never obviously worked out.
Right.
but
She
that,
auditioned.
That was the next person
Well,
who was
Katie
selected by the
auditioned.
church.
Yeah.
Katie auditioned, and they want somebody that's more of a subservient type personality, or someone that they see. You know, there's certain types of people that cults, you know, they realize
They
okay,
zoom
that
in on.
She's going to be a follower. She's going to really, you know.
Well, there
And-
was
and
a
really,
rumor.
I guess that and I would say just in the general public, the reason why they're so criticized is the fact that they are classified as a church. They don't pay taxes.
they don't pay taxes.
And it is a business, and
Right.
they're milking all this money. But and then also the documentary does a really good job of showing how they got that status, which
Right,
is actually
that
a
was a
little
great-
brilliant.
yes.
Filing all these lawsuits against the actual people who work at the
Yes.
IRS. I mean, it's ballsy.
The fact that leader, the head of the IRS back then, allowed that to happen is amazing. But this David
Did
McConovich.
they file like over 2,000 lawsuits?
Oh yeah, it was. It was
ridiculous.
I don't know if you rent this or go to Netflix and watch this because
It's
that you're
a
right. I
brilliant
forgot all
documentary.
about that part of it, how they manipulated the government. And then what's the president's name? David
can't-
McConaughey.
It's Cavaj.
He's very Hitler-like.
What is it?
It's very scary. Now he and
Yeah,
Tom
he's like a
Cruise
young
seem
Hitler.
very similar.
Yeah.
You know, just in terms of their personality and their
I
stature.
thought you were going to say they're miniature.
Well, I was going to, but I'm short, so I can't
I
say
think they
anything.
pretty much-
I mean, are they both pocket gays? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
David Miscavige.
Yeah.
Aha.
That's it. Yeah.
And it's his wife that was missing, that Leah Remini was friends with, that she started questioning, well, where's your wife? And I guess they were has anyone found the woman?
Well, sometimes
mean,
they go away for a year.
where
you
did
know,
they-
on
and they
the-
go
the-
off
the-
to that
the
camp, or-
little 7th floor or 8th floor, wherever they go. Yeah.
Well, I mean, don't
That
you think
is
that there's a lot
scary.
of where are these people now? And now the most recent one is Tom Cruise's mom.
But where's the police in
Well,
all
I
this?
think Tom Cruise's mom quite frankly, now this is just my opinion, and I'm certainly not defending the church. I think she's off having some really wonderful surgery, and she's going to look fabulous. And
Good
just
for
doesn't
her.
want anyone to know where the heck she is. And
Right.
it's no one's business.
But is she Scientology?
April?
Is she
I think she's
Scientology?
getting some nips and tacks, and the church is paying for it.
Is his mom Scientology? He got
I
her
do
into
not know.
Yeah, because I don't think he came into it on his own. I think.
Yeah, but he would, in order to have a relationship with his mom, and that is really
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Scientology, in a way, even though they're, allegedly blackmailing their celebrity members, provide a sense of protection as well.
Right.
And they help you hide your secrets that you're revealing to
truths.
them. Your truth. So.
And a good mom of a celebrity wouldn't say anything.
Right,
I mean, that's,
right.
sometimes I have a better understanding now why some celebrities actually don't talk to their parents because they have big mouths.
Right.
They say stuff.
And Leslie,
that-
you, in your case, your family didn't know, and you only recently talked about this with your family.
Yes, they didn't know.
They didn't
because
know.
They would be horrified.
Horrified.
They would have done
An intervention?
They would have
done
came
it.
to Seattle or wherever and got or where
Well,
were
they were just in
oh,
Seattle.
Oh,
I-
you
no,
were
they
from there.
knew
Oh,
that
okay.
my boyfriend was a Scientologist, so they would pray for me, and I just would say, "Oh, I don't really go to the meetings. I've never done the
Right.
auditing. I've never, but I was in. I believed it. I believed in just the whole spirituality and broadening your mind and using, we only use, like I
Right.
said, less than
Well, that's how they wrote
5%.
people in. Dianetics
And
is
I-
actually a very interesting book.
Yeah.
I
and
mean,
there's-
the study of Dianetics. If
And-
you're into psychology at all,
And they get a lot of people because they are. Doesn't the church own Narconon or one
well,
of?
that's how they got Kirstie Alley apparently,
Correct.
Yeah, I believe that they do, like Narcotics Anonymous.
because she
is-
credits them with
and
getting
that's
her
actually
off
how they get
drugs.
some of their
Right.
membership is
Now,
through that
something
program.
interesting is back, when I was, member of
When
the
you
church.
were
It's so
hooked-
weird to
when you
even
were
say
in
that
the
because
church.
I don't
Can
even
we
think
stop
about
calling it a church? It really isn't a
Well,
church.
the movement,
the I don't know.
the BM,
Oh yeah, the
the
Reich,
club.
the Fourth Reich. I don't know.
the Thetan.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Thetan.
The
Thetan.
cult.
Thetan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Well,
cult, they're-
so what would you say to people today? I mean, would you say there's
Run.
any value at all in Scientology? At all? Any at all? Like, did you get anything out of the auditing or Dianetics or?
I found that it was fascinating. I always wanted to believe that maybe, there's more to this world than just this one life,
Right.
and then you die and you go to heaven and
Right.
you make golden trinkets for Jesus. I don't know what we do, but I'm just saying.
Right, right.
I just felt like there was more, and having, maybe a past life, or maybe we have to be here and really work our way up to different levels to be with God, the
Right.
one God, and it just broadened my own Christian thoughts.
Right.
Of course, my Christian family would be horrified to even hear me
Right,
say this
right.
right now.
Well, but no, I was just trying to
But
see
that was
because
how that was, and so in the science behind it, the science behind the mind fascinated
Right,
me,
right.
because I know that there's just so much more. I didn't want superpowers.
well, then you get into the
Did-
spaceships and the aliens.
But there's
and,
more. There's more.
Wow.
Okay, a little bit more.
Yeah.
That they did not talk about in the movie. And they absolutely believe this, and they talked about it even to an underling like
Right.
me, is when you get to the point, you're able to leave your body. So, for example, if I'm sleeping at night, my body's at rest, and Dominic's a Scientologist, and his body's at rest, we can actually leave our bodies and go to other planets together.
Astral projection?
Yes,
Oh.
we can go anywhere now, but we do have to protect our bodies. We're still connected to our bodies. So if anybody, like let's say someone
With the
wakes,
silver cord?
someone, yeah,
Yes.
so the magical
JW
cord.
knows.
Yes.
If
Yeah.
somebody wakes us up, then we immediately would go back into our body. Also, if somebody is in a coma, and they absolutely believe this, they're in a coma, their body is near death, maybe that they've even been deemed brain damage, or that
Dead.
they should pull the plug on them. Not entirely dead,
Brain
but the
dead.
spirit has left the body. The spirit is no value of the Thetan that's there. It has actually
Mm-hmm.
left the body. Some other Thetans that maybe would be a dog, a
Well,
lesser Thetan. Well, take that, or just somebody who's like, well, you know what? Maybe the body's not perfect, but I'll take it.
The walk-in.
So that's
This is
so that
JW knows.
Yes.
so that spirit will actually take that body when they wake up. That explains why all of a sudden somebody speaks only German.
Oh.
Why they have memories of their families in Germany. They can name all these kids because it's actually a completely different spirit that now is owning that body.
Wow.
And maybe the body will not, be able to walk again, but it's worth it for them. Because there's a fight, and in hospitals,
Yeah.
the maternity ward at hospitals, thousands of Thetans, and they are fighting.
Call the National Guard, please.
Please call Donald Trump and
Okay,
see what he can do about that.
But they are fighting, absolutely fighting, like there's
There's a war in every
wars.
maternity ward.
Yes, absolutely. Because a lot of
This is according to Scientology.
according to Scientology.
This is not according to Dr. Leslie Birkland. I just needed to get that in there for a second.
Okay, thank you
We'll
for
run the
clarifying
disclaimer at the
that.
end of the show.
Yeah.
Okay, but they absolutely
They believe this
that.
shit.
But often they do believe that spirits stay within a family. That's why if your little Becky is so close to Uncle John, not
Right.
that there's anything weird going
Right.
on. And why? Well, in their past life, they were brother
Connected.
and sister, or they had they were, mother and daughter. You don't know, and so there's this connect because they know each other. So the spirits like to stay within their own families.
Well, this is
Dr.
interesting.
Birkland, we were looking actually at the list. I think Gawker published a list of all the celebrity members, and we were a bit shocked at some of the names.
Some
that
people
came up.
they're not vocal about
Who
it.
were some of your biggest surprises on that list? Because I know you went through it as well.
Greta.
Greta Van Susteren on
I knew
Fox News.
I knew she was.
Okay, I was a little surprised.
I had heard she was.
That she was. Let me think who else was on it.
One of the voice of the Simpsons,
Nancy Cartwright.
she is, right? Nancy Cartwright.
Yeah, there were. A lot of people I didn't actually.
Juliette
recognize
Lewis.
me.
Juliette Lewis.
Juliette
That was a
Lewis.
surprise.
I was
Her
not.
father,
no,
Jeffrey-
I was not surprised at Juliette Lewis at all.
Yeah.
She's just like a perfect
She seems like
Scientologist.
she's kind of
Like,
robotic.
"Woo, I love life.
Everything's
and the
hippie
rest."
and-
Hey, I actually really like her.
I like her too.
because she
She's a
does
brilliant
these
actress.
vines on does the funniest vines.
She
She's
does.
the best person to follow.
She's really good on
hilarious.
Secrets and Lies. Well, is the time running out?
It
My
sure
God.
is.
Well,
It's gone
listen,
by so
where can
quick.
everyone follow you on Twitter? Is it
No.
Leslie Birkland?
It's at Leslie Birkland.
Okay.
On Twitter and on
You have your
Instagram.
website,
a website. It's just Leslie
Birkland.com.
Birkland, Big Rich, Texas.
Big Rich, Texas.
And my website is lesliebirkland.com. And so Facebook and Instagram are both Leslie
Okay.
Birkland.
And what's coming up? Do you have? I know you're dealing. Well, you were just. Did you just judge the Miss?
Miss America pageant.
When is that airing?
just-
Or is it airing?
It
or?
did air live.
Oh, it was
streamed.
it was
It
live.
streamed,
Okay.
And it's still. I think today's like the last day you can watch
Okay.
it. I tried to watch it, but then I thought, I was there.
You
What
were
do I need to
there,
watch it
like,
again for?
yeah.
I mean,
But you're dealing. You've got
We
a
have a
lot
couple
of
shows coming out,
producing,
so-
and I know you're doing a lot of stuff.
Dominic and I are actually working on some projects, getting
know.
some shows optioned, and we are really excited about the shows, and the response has just been amazing.
Well, look at the two of them. They go
So-
into a room to pitch, and they're so beautiful that they just want to buy anything you have.
Well,
You're single, right?
okay, yeah, I am. And you know what? And I want a boyfriend. And actually, it's kind of funny because my agent said to me, "Why are you not married? Why do you not have a boyfriend?" And I said, "Because I don't date.
Right.
So I need to date."
Well, at least Tinder.
So I.
Well-
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
like I'm gonna do that.
What do you
Oh,
think,
right. Can you see me doing
Patty
Tinder?
Stanger would be a good option again.
Okay.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
Well,
Sure.
listen, thank you so much. It's
Thanks,
great to
Dr.
finally meet
Cole.
you. Dominic, thank you as always.
course.
JW, thank you. And everyone tune in next week because we always have great guests and we'll be surprising you. We don't know who they are yet. But you've been watching and
too.
listening to One-on-One. Oh, we do? Should we mention it?
It's always a surprise, as you said.
Oh, okay. You've been listening to One-on-One with Jasper Cole. We'll see you next Wednesday. Thank you.
Thanks for checking out One-on-One with Jasper Cole. Check out past episodes and get the latest as they're released. Subscribe today on iTunes, Stitcher, and YouTube.
The views and opinions expressed in these radio programs are those of the individual hosts and do not reflect the official policy or position of Universal Broadcasting Network.